Hi, it's JJ the Life Coach, and it's been just over a week since I talked to you, and I told you about this new way of moving through your negative feelings that had just come to me. I've never heard anything like this before. So I wanted to sort of debrief with you and talk to you about how my life has shifted since I started taking that advice that I gave you in my last video. Now, first of all, let me explain the procedure. Now, normally, let me back up to the beginning of time, as my husband says. Now, normally I used to be a person who would stuff my feelings. I never process them. I would stuff them down and just keep going. You know, I'm supposed to be the happy person. I'm supposed to be the effective perfectionist. So I just stuff those feelings away because, you know, they might get in my way of having people think of me a certain way or just getting my work done. So I didn't deal with them. Well, of course, that backfired, and I learned that you have to process through those uncomfortable feelings. Now, in the past, my way of doing that, which I still recommend greatly, it's one of the steps in my book, Stop Stress Now, that's on sale. You know, I've got the ebook and the regular book on my website, jjthelifecoach.com, and also on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So that guide tells you to be very specific. So what exactly are you feeling? Are you frustrated? Are you impatient? Are you angry? Are you hurt? What is that feeling so that you can identify it, process it, and do what you need to take care of yourself through that feeling? Well, like I said, a few weeks ago, I got this inspiration to not label the feeling. Skip that step of labeling the feeling. So instead, you're going to note the uncomfortable feeling, but instead of deciding which specific feeling it is, you're just going to call it pain. It's pain. And you're going to sit with the pain, and then you're going to move through it. Now, if you want to hear about sitting with the pain, check out my video, 90-Second Tricks to Stop Stress in Its Tracks. That's on my homepage of jjthelifecoach.com. And that sort of explains how you can allow a feeling to move through you at the appropriate time and how much time to take. So anyway, you let that pain wash through you, and then you move on. You've processed it, you can move on. Well, this has been revolutionary for me. I cannot tell you, since I've been doing this, which I've been doing it for, like I said, about 3 weeks now, those feelings move through me like that. It is so fast. And the discomfort lasts just seconds maybe. And it's really interesting. I will well up. I might shed a tear or two feeling that pain, and then it's gone. And so I have felt more free, more light, more joyful, more energy, and it's been amazing. But here's something, and I knew that, you know, I'm a step ahead of you. I was experimenting with this before I talked to you on my last video. So I'm a step ahead of you. So I've been doing that, and so last time I talked to you, I knew that it would make me feel lighter and more joyful and more energy and move through things quicker. But here's an unexpected consequence that I didn't know about. So I'm not going to get into details on this part, but there's something very, very stressful happening in my family. There are some health issues with some members of my family that are really challenging, and probably, you know, there are a couple people involved, you know, they're probably not going to be with us on this earth too much longer. So can be very painful, very stressful. Well, I heard news about one of these people, and my brain immediately went into stress mode. As you can imagine, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, the ins and outs of what I should be doing and what I can do, and worrying, and I got into that mode, and I said, wait a minute, these are symptoms of pain. So I'm gonna stop and check in with myself and see how I'm feeling. Symptoms of stress, symptoms of pain. So I stopped for a moment and I said, okay, is this causing me pain? And I sat for a moment. Do I feel pain right now? And at that moment, honestly, the answer was no. Now, I don't want you to think I'm cold and callous. I've had pain about these health situations of loved ones, and I'm sure I will have pain again. But at that moment, I really wasn't feeling pain. My head had just automatically gone into overdrive, that caveman brain that I talk about. And so I I was trying to stress myself out even though I wasn't having the feelings of stress. Does that make sense? I thought it was amazingly bizarre and amazingly wonderful. So once I had identified that I wasn't having pain, I was like, well, then there's nothing to worry about, right? At this moment, there's nothing to worry about. And I was able to let go of all those worry and obsessive thoughts that were cycling and ruminating through my brain. Now, the funny part is this wasn't just a one-time thing. I've done that consistently. I'll be like, oh my gosh, the puppy made a mess. And I start to go into stress mode, right? And then I stop and I go, now, is this causing me pain? Is this really causing me pain? No, it's really not causing me pain to go and pick up the papers that he shredded. And so I let it go. So I cannot wait for you to try this out and let me know what happens for you. What happens when you label every negative experience as pain? Because it might be completely different for you. And I really am excited about this new process, and I want to know where it's taking people. So you can leave a comment on YouTube, or you can leave a comment at jjthelifecoach.com right under this video in the blog portion. I'd love to hear from you. And what we're going to talk about next time is what happens when you do the opposite, when you take any good feeling and call it joy. So don't worry about that right now. You can play with it if you want, but we will talk about it on my next video. I'll talk to you later. This is JJ the Life Coach.